There is a certain kind of wealthy man who has never once leased a brand new truck, and you have met him without knowing it. He drives something a decade old with a scratch on the tailgate and mud caked in the wheel wells, and he does not care what you think about it because he never needed the truck to say anything about him in the first place. That is old money, not flash, not payments, just something dependable that works. Today I am showing you 7 trucks that give you that exact look and that exact reliability for under $10,000, and after 2 decades of wrenching on these platforms, I can tell you every one of them will flat out outwork a brand new truck twice its price. Let's count them down. Number 7. The 2001 to 2011 Ford Ranger with the 4.0-liter V6. Nobody buys a Ranger to impress anyone, and that is exactly the point. This little truck has been quietly running errands, hauling firewood, and towing boats for 2 decades without asking for attention, which is the definition of old money energy. The 4.0-liter single overhead cam V6 produces around 207 horsepower, is naturally aspirated, and runs a timing chain rather than a belt. RepairPal rates the Ranger's reliability as above average for a compact truck, and owners regularly report crossing 200,000 miles with nothing beyond routine maintenance. You can find a clean 2005 to 2008 Ranger XLT with 100,000 to 130,000 miles for $5,000 to $7,500 right now. When shopping, check the rear main seal for minor seepage, which is common but rarely urgent. Inspect the front end bushings, since these trucks ride on a solid front axle in 4-wheel drive form that wears predictably. And verify the automatic transmission shifts cleanly under load. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants a truck that disappears into the background while it works and does not care about backseat space. Number 6. The 2004 to 2015 Nissan Titan with the 5.6-liter VK56DE V8. This is the truck nobody cross-shops against an F-150, and that is a mistake. The VK56 is a genuinely overbuilt engine, producing between 305 and 317 horsepower depending on the year, and it is chain-driven with no belt service ever required. Nissan borrowed heavily from the Infiniti QX56's engineering when building the first-generation Titan, and it shows in the smoothness and the durability of the drivetrain. RepairPal gives the Titan an above-average reliability score, and forum owners regularly document these engines surpassing 250,000 miles with only alternators, water pumps, and brakes as unplanned repairs. A 2008 to 2012 Titan with 110,000 to 140,000 miles typically sells for $7,000 to $9,500. When shopping, check for exhaust manifold cracking, which is a known cosmetic and noise issue on early models but does not affect drivability. Inspect the rear differential fluid for proper service intervals and test the transmission for firm, confident shifts. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants full-size towing capacity and V8 power without paying the Ford or Chevy badge tax. Number 5. The 2000 to 2006 Toyota Tundra with the 4.7-liter iForce 5.8. This is the truck that convinced America Toyota could build something as tough as a domestic half-ton. And it did it with an engine so overbuilt that mechanics still talk about it today. The 2UZFE 4.7-liter V8 produces 245 horsepower, runs a timing belt that needs replacement around 90,000 to 100,000 miles for roughly $700 to $1,000. And beyond that belt service, the engine is documented reaching 300,000 miles and beyond with nothing but oil changes. RepairPal ranks the Tundra among the most reliable full-size trucks on the market, and annual maintenance costs average well below the segment norm. A 2003 to 2005 Tundra Access Cab with 130,000 to 160,000 miles sells for $6,500 to $9,000 right now. When inspecting one, confirm the timing belt history first, since that is the single biggest expense on the horizon. Check the frame for rust in northern climates, since Toyota issued a frame rust recall on this generation. And inspect the exhaust manifold gaskets for a known ticking noise that is cheap to fix. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants Toyota's reputation for outlasting everything else on the road in a full-size truck body. Number 4. The 2002 to 2008 Dodge Ram 1500 with the 4.7-liter V8. The Ram from this era has an old money look that nothing else on this list quite matches. Wide stance, chrome grille, a cabin that felt genuinely upscale when new. The 4.7-liter Magnum 5.8 produces around 235 to 245 horsepower depending on the year, uses a timing chain, and is a simpler, less complicated engine than the 5.7-liter Hemi that came later with its lifter tick issues. RepairPal rates this generation Ram as reliable when the 4.7-liter is properly maintained, and annual repair costs run noticeably below what owners report for the Hemi-equipped trucks. A 2005 to 2007 Ram 1500 SLT with 120,000 to 150,000 miles sells for $6,000 to $8,500. When shopping, check for intake manifold gasket leaks, a known issue on this engine that costs around $300 to $500 to address. Inspect the ball joints, since these trucks ride heavier than competitors and wear front-end components faster. And test the four-wheel drive transfer case for smooth engagement. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants the boldest, most classic truck silhouette on this list without the Hemi's added complexity. Number 3. The 2005 to 2011 Toyota Tacoma with the 4-liter V6. If old money had a compact truck, this would be it. Understated, nearly indestructible, and holding its value better than almost anything else on the used market, which tells you everything about how buyers actually feel about this platform. The 1GR-FE 4-liter V6 produces 236 horsepower, runs a timing chain, and is shared with the 4Runner and FJ Cruiser, meaning parts are everywhere and mechanics know this engine intimately. RepairPal consistently ranks the Tacoma at or near the top of its class for reliability, and it is not uncommon to see these trucks cross 250,000 miles on the original drivetrain. Because demand for the Tacoma is so strong, prices run a bit higher than everything else on this list. But you can still find a 2005 to 2007 double cab with 150,000 to 180,000 miles for $8,000 to $9,800. When shopping, check the lower ball joints, a well-documented wear item on this generation. Inspect the frame for rust, since Toyota extended a frame replacement program on some of these trucks. And confirm that has been addressed if applicable. And test the automatic transmission for hesitation on takeoff. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants the truck that holds its value the way a real asset should, and does not mind paying slightly more to get it. Number 2. The 2007 to 2013 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with the 5.3-liter Vortec V8. This is the truck that quietly outnumbers almost everything else on used lots because Chevy built millions of them, and that scale works entirely in your favor. The 5.3-liter LMG or L83 Vortec 5.8, depending on the model year, is part of General Motors' proven LS architecture. A push rod design with fewer moving parts than any overhead cam competitor and a documented track record of reaching 250,000 to 300,000 miles with basic maintenance. RepairPal rates this generation Silverado as above average for reliability. And because General Motors built so many of these trucks, parts and labor costs at independent shops are some of the lowest of any full-size truck on the road. A 2009 to 2011 Silverado LT Crew Cab with 130,000 to 160,000 miles sells for $8,500 to $10,000, occasionally dipping just under that mark, depending on region. When shopping, check for active fuel management related oil consumption on early 2007 to 2009 models, a known issue that can be addressed with a tune for a few $100s. Inspect for transmission shudder between 40 and 60 miles per hour, which usually resolves with a fluid and filter service, and check the rocker panels for rust and salt belt states. Who should buy it? Families and workers who need real towing capacity and interior space, and want the lowest realistic repair costs of any full-size truck on this list. Number 1. The 2004 to 2008 Ford F-150 with the 4.6-liter Triton 5.8. I am putting this one at the top because it is the truck that started the modern full-size segment as we know it. And the 2-valve 4.6-liter version is one of the most overlooked, reliable engines Ford has ever built. Skip the 5.4-liter Triton entirely, since that version has documented issues with spark plugs seizing in the cylinder head and blowing out under torque, a repair that can run well over $1,000. The 4.6-liter 2-valve avoids nearly all of that drama. It produces around 231 to 248 horsepower depending on the year, runs a timing chain, and has been documented by fleet operators and independent mechanics reaching 200,000 to 250,000 miles with routine maintenance alone. RepairPal rates the 11th generation F-150 as reliable. And because Ford sold enormous volumes of this truck, parts are cheap and available at every auto parts store in the country. A 2005 to 2007 F-150 XLT Super Cab with 120,000 to 150,000 miles sells for $6,500 to $9,500 depending on condition and region. When shopping, confirm the engine badge or check the VIN to make absolutely sure you are getting the 4.6-liter and not the problematic 5.4-liter. Inspect the intake manifold for coolant leaks, a known issue on this generation that runs about $300 to $500 to fix. And check the rear leaf springs and shocks for sag, since these trucks see heavy use as work vehicles. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants the classic American truck silhouette, real capability, and an engine that will not bankrupt you at 100,000 miles, the way its more famous 5.4-liter sibling can. So there they are, 7 trucks that carry themselves like old money, while costing less than most people's car payments over 3 years. The Ford Ranger that works quietly in the background without asking for credit. The Nissan Titan that brings full-size V8 power without the badge tax. The Toyota Tundra that proved Toyota could out-truck the trucks. The Dodge Ram 1500 with the boldest classic stance on this entire list. The Toyota Tacoma that holds its value like a real asset. The Chevrolet Silverado with the lowest realistic repair costs of the bunch. And the Ford F-150 with the 2-valve Triton that quietly outlasts its more famous sibling. You now know 7 trucks you can buy for under $10,000 that will look like you spent 3 times as much while actually costing a fraction of what a new truck payment runs every single month. If this kind of straight talk helps you shop smarter, hit subscribe. I have got more videos coming on the trucks dealerships push versus the ones that actually last. Like if it helped, I will see you in the next one.